Howdy folks, Little John, and it's Friday afternoon and I'm sitting here. I was meant to be brewing, I was meant to be in the middle of brewing a Brut IPA, but I'd ordered some yeast and it didn't turn up. I was hoping it would get here this morning, but it didn't. So that sort of threw my plan out because I was going to go with that. So in the end, I'm not brewing today. So what I'm going to do, I thought I'm going to sit down and have a drink. I know a few people will be expecting a video to be coming out today, so I thought I'd throw this one down. Have a chat about the about this Brut IPA, about the style itself, what I'm planning on doing and my thoughts on the style, and yeah, where it runs and how I feel it's going to go. You know, maybe ask you guys, other brewers that have done it and stuff, what opinions they've got. So what I'll do, I'm going to suck on a little bit of my homemade Southern Comfort bourbon liqueur, for want of a better terminology. But anyway, so that's it, Brut IPA. Now, I've said it many times before about different kinds of IPAs and the amount of wankery that's involved in IPA in the brewing world in general, and marketing and all the rest of it, and how very loosely the term IPA is used on beers. And I really think it's purely because IPA is the style of the time, and a lot of breweries are trying to catch up with something. They're trying to grab something different while still holding on to what's sort of the hip beer of the moment. The first one that really irked me was when you started having session IPA. I've talked about this before. You know, it's just bullshit. Session IPA. You know, a light, you know, lower hop, low alcohol. You know, session beer. Sorry, no, it's an IPA. It's a highly hopped, high alcohol full-on beer. That's what it is. You know, you can't make that into a session. That's like saying I've, you know, created a session Russian Imperial Stout, or you know, a session barley wine. It's fucking bullshit. It doesn't exist. And you know, I've seen this Brut IPA getting around. You know, hadn't really looked at the lot. I'd seen it here and there. Hadn't paid it too much attention. So initially I thought, oh, it's just a dry IPA, which, you know, as much as I don't agree with using the tag just to get a beer, there is some amount of playing where you can play it. Okay, it's an IPA style, but it's been brewed drier. You know, that's fine if you've still got the core of the IPA. But after a trip to Canberra not that long ago, where I actually got to first time I actually tried a commercial sample of a Brut IPA, and yeah, it really turned my idea around on, you know, what's going on. It opened my eyes incredibly, and I thought, what the fuck is this? This is not an IPA. Not in any way, shape or form is this an IPA. You know, if you've not had a Brut IPA, or you're not sure what it is, basically it's a hoppy, oh look, I can't even go there. I'll leave that for the moment. Anyway, we were drinking it. I was not overly impressed. I didn't think it was that bloody great. The wife enjoyed it. Now, my wife doesn't drink beer. Very rarely does she even like a beer. She'll have a mouthful or two here and there, you know, of tasters. But she actually liked that Brut IPA, She commented at the time, she said it's like a girly beer, which I found quite apt because it sort of did fit like that girly beer. And, it had no go about it. Basically, was sort of what she was saying. And she said it was almost like a cidery type of feeling. Now that's not something you should be associating with an IPA. It's big as God oomph. But she said, I like that, and I wouldn't mind if you brewed that. I'd had that at home. I'd probably drink it a bit more often. So I said, oh well, I'll make one soon. But I'd been thinking about it because it was a new style, and whether it's something I particularly like. I'd like to keep myself up with what's going on and at least try brewing these different beers, so I'd get an idea and understanding of how they work and the processes and whatnot. So first thing I had to do was look at it, find out what's in it, how's it made, what is the story behind this bloody, this Brut IPA. So I started looking around and watching a few videos and whatnot, and I watched a few different places where they were brewing Brut IPA, and people were struggling a little bit with exactly what the process was and how they were getting that dry finish. I saw one video, might have been two different groups where they were using champagne yeast and wine yeast to get that bottom finish, obviously from the terminology Brut. They associated that with champagne, and they went with that sort of yeast to get the dryness, and weren't really getting a fantastic result. But as I continued to look around the search, I come across a video which was an interview done by a brewing writer with the fella who actually created the style. So he actually went through and explained, what his thinking was behind the style he was trying to do, and went through right through the ingredients and what was going on. Now, for those who've not seen a Brut IPA and what's in them, for a quick rundown, it's basically 60% Pilsner malt, 20% flaked rice, 20% flaked corn. That's the grain bill. Now, straight away, to me, that screams adjunct lager. That's a bloody long way from IPA. So I was like, okay, well, what's going on there? And then he goes through, and it goes through the hopping process, and it's basically, now again, off the top of my head, I haven't got it exactly, I haven't got it in front of me. But the idea is it's basically a small, late addition for some flavour, and then then a reasonable high amount of flame out and whirlpool additions with some dry hopping. So it's like a cut back version of New England IPA from the hopping perspective. But it's designed to give a lot of hop flavour with minimal bitterness, which again to me just screams the complete opposite of IPA. And then it is brewed with an ale yeast. It's brewed with USA 5 at normal temperatures. But not only have you got this high percentage of adjuncts in the brew which are going to dry it out, they use enzyme as well. Yeah, and this is where I just sort of went, what the hell's going on here? For home brewing, for so long, it's been all but a cardinal sin to use enzymes like dry enzyme, which is basically what they're using. You know, what we all know is dry enzyme that you use to make a, you know, low carb beer. Yeah, there's been somewhat of taboo to do such things. You know, brewers have tried to make, you know, those drier beers that finish with lower gravity by using mash temperatures and processes, and you know, getting it down that way and using higher attenuating yeast. So to see a commercial brewery just outright just bang throwing dry enzyme at what, as I said, appeared to be a adjunct lager grain bill was just like, hang on, what's going on? And that's where it really irked me, something shocking. You know, I thought, you've really taken the wankery to a whole new level. I mean, you are essentially, you're far closer to an adjunct, a hoppy adjunct lager than you are to an IPA. The only thing you're not getting with the lager is you're not using the lager yeast and fermenting at lager temperatures. You got 90% of it. You haven't got 90% of an IPA, and then just cutting back a little bit to get your, you know, this Brut IPA. Now, the Brut come about, and the fella didn't call it Brut. It was, that would come across apparently when he first made it, and he was selling it in his, they had on top of the brew pub, and someone commented about the champagne finish and how dry it was, and said it was like, and actually called it Brut. Said, you know, it's got a Brut finish. So that stuck, and hence become, you know, where the style got its name. At that point, it didn't really have a name. It probably never should have. But so that's where the style is. High adjunct lager with a high amount of late hopping and post-boil hops for high hop flavour with minimal bitterness. Simply brewed with USO5 and using enzymes to drag it down nice and dry. Now, the version I had in Canberra was listed as I think it was 56 IBUs, and it was about, it was over 6% alcohol, like 6.5, even pushing towards 7% alcohol. So it was still keeping on the IPA end from that end. Now, this fellow who's creating it is basically, he was saying that the IBUs are more down around that 32 to 35 IBU range, and it does drink, again off the top of my head, but in the low 5%. So again, dragging it more down towards that bloody adjunct lager sort of a feel. It's really taking anything IPA out of it. I can't make a single connection in that beer to IPA. May just be me. You know, if someone could, realistically, if someone could sit down and justify why that beer should be called an IPA, I'd love to see it, because there are so many reasons why it shouldn't be called an IPA. But anyway, that's where it is. So, that being the case, I'm gonna brew the batch. I'm gonna do it as it should be done. I've got the rice, I've got the corn, I've got the Pilsner malt, I've got some USO5, I've got dry enzyme sitting here, which is, you know, I've used for my spirits making. So I'll drag a packet out and I'll use it on some beer. Yeah, all good. But I was going to split the batch in half, and what I was wanting to do initially was just do half the batch with a lager yeast, but leave out the dry enzyme, but basically increase the dextrose component a little to get some dryness there. Now obviously I can't go too far with that. I was thinking maybe pulling half a kilo of the grain out and using half a kilo of dex, just to help dry it. I mean, with the rice and the corn, it's going to get a little bit drier, and it's going to be a little bit of unflavoured there. But I wanted to do it as really as a lager, and I'm thinking, as I've thought about it over the last couple of days, and things have changed a little bit, I'm actually thinking to just brew it as is, as a straight batch, and just do one with the USA 5 and the dry enzyme in the fermenter, and do the other batch with lager yeast. And what it will be is I'm going to use the Rocky Mountain Lager, which I had starting up the other week. I got it cheap, so I've got it back out again. It's back on the starter again, because now this batch is not going to happen till Sunday now. So I have a chance, I'll have time to build up, and I can use that. Now that's a fairly clean, dry sort of a yeast. Produces that very light beers. Those Canadian, like Canadian beers works good in very light American pilsners and stuff. So I think that'll work well. So I want to be able to compare the two. How does that lager bill come out when it's actually brewed as a lager, compared to doing it and bastardising it with some dry enzyme and some ale yeast, just so you can call it IPA, and see how the two compare. I've got no great expectations of what's going to happen. I think we'll get a typical crap low flavoured lager, which will probably be more hoppy than style can support, and we'll get some brewed IPA, which I may be able to drink, and if nothing else, the wife be able to drink, and visitors may be able to, when summer comes. So that's where we're going with it. And I said that's going to happen Sunday. I'll do a bit of a video on it. What I'd like to know, if you'd like, people want to comment, have you made a brewed IPA? Have you done one yourself? If you have, how did you do it? How did you go about getting the dryness? Did you use Did you use enzyme and O5? Did you use a champagne yeast? I've seen people talk about using a distiller's yeast, and that was my first thought initially, was to use the O5 and to do a distiller's yeast instead of the lager yeast. I was going to use whiskey. I was going to use American whiskey yeast because it will ferment down a lot drier. But I watched the video where they'd done that, and as much as it's a Cerevisier yeast strain, it's still not particularly good for beer. So that's why I stepped away from that. I'm just going to go for doing this with the lager yeast. But if you have done it with it, if you have tried that, stick it in the comments. Let us know. Let people know about it. Yeah. What did you do? Did it work? Did it not work? How did it work out for you? How did it go? Did people like it? Yeah. What's your impression of it? Have you tried a commercial version? Have you had one, 2, 3? Yeah. If you have, what did you think of it? Yeah. Just in general, if you've not tried one, if you've not had one, what do you think of the whole? With it being called an IPA, given the grain and the hop bill. Whatever. Yeah. If you've just got any general questions about what I'm going to go about, how I'm going to go about doing it, ask away. Stick it down the bottom. It's a topic that doesn't get a lot of discussion on the net because it is such a new style, and not a lot of people are doing it, because I think there's not a lot of great understanding of how the style is created and what it does, where it stands. So I think it's not going to hurt to get have a good look at it and really play with it and put it out there and expose it a little bit. So anyway, that's me for the day. I've had me mini rant about IPA wankery. So as I said, a couple of days, I'll knock it out. There will be a video on it. And tasters down the track. So that's me for the day. Little John out. So, like I said, comment down the bottom. If you haven't subscribed, hit the button down the bottom there. Until I see you again, we're drinking beer, we're brewing beer, talking beer, good brewing.